Have you ever, been driving behind a big truck and wondered how they haul all that stuff without clouds of smoke? Or maybe you've noticed the air in cities feels a little cleaner lately.
Hmm.
It's easy to miss, but behind that, there are these crucial bits and pieces doing a lot of work for logistics and the environment.
Absolutely essential pieces.
Exactly. And today, we're going deep on one of them: diesel exhaust fluid storage. DEF storage.
Right.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. DF storage. Why focus on something so specific?
Sounds a bit niche, doesn't it?
It does. But it's actually a fantastic way to see how a specialized market fits into this much bigger global picture. It directly affects air quality, how goods move, everything. And we're basing this on insights from the Global DF Storage Market Growth Forecast.
A really comprehensive look.
Our mission today,
Yeah.
to really unpack the surprising growth, see where it's happening, and understand the wider impact of this market that often just flies under the radar.
And it really is foundational. For anyone maybe less familiar, DEF, diesel exhaust fluid, it's basically a non-toxic liquid. It's essential for making diesel engines run cleaner.
Okay.
It works with something called an SCR system, Selective Catalytic Reduction.
SCR. Right.
Think of it like a really smart filter in the exhaust. DEF gets sprayed in, causes a reaction, and turns nasty stuff like nitrogen oxides.
The smog stuff.
Exactly, the smog and acid rain culprits
Yeah.
into just harmless nitrogen and water.
Wow. Okay.
And the reason we need DEF, the reason demand is soaring, is because of stricter emissions rules popping up all over the world.
The regulations drive it.
Directly. So this isn't just about tanks and fluid, you see. It's about understanding a key part of this global push for cleaner transport and, well, how regulations shape our world.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because the numbers, they really tell a story, especially for what seems like such a niche area.
They really do.
So the global DFF storage market back in 2021 was already worth a solid $1.25 billion.
Which is significant.
Right. And it's not just growing steadily, it's actually accelerating. Projections show it hitting $1.75 billion by 2025, and then really taking off, estimated to reach $3.41 billion by 2033.
That's more than double the 2025 figure in just 8 years.
Exactly. That works out to a compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of 8.7%, which, if you're not familiar, basically shows really strong, consistent growth year over year.
And what's fascinating here, truly illuminating, is how directly tied this growth is to, well, global environmental policy and tech adoption.
It's not just random market forces.
Not at all. It's a direct result of more countries, more industries adopting these SCR systems because they have to meet stricter emission standards for their diesel fleets.
Okay.
And we're seeing this in, developed economies and the rapidly developing ones. It's a pretty unified global trend towards cleaner air driving this specific market.
That overall picture is impressive, but where's the action really happening? Where are the hot spots? Let's kick things off with North America. Already a huge player, expected to grow from just over, $511 million in 2021 to a hefty $1.3 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR of about 8.1%.
Still very strong growth for a large base.
Definitely. And within that, the U.S. is the giant, right? Driven by fleet upgrades, those regulations we talked about. Canada's also showing really solid growth.
Right.
But Mexico, that's interesting. It's flagged as a real high-growth market there, forecast to more than triple its value by 2033.
Yeah, North America, especially the U.S. and Canada, is kind of a mature market in this space.
Yeah.
The rules have been around for a while.
Right.
So a lot of the growth you're seeing is that continuous churn, older trucks getting replaced, companies making sure their fleets meet current standards, sort of the long game of cleaning up transport.
Makes sense. Steady modernization.
Exactly. Now, if we hop across the pond to Europe,
Okay.
the DEF storage market there is also looking very healthy, projected to hit over $900 million by 2033.
Also significant growth.
Definitely. And within Europe, it's kind of interesting. The UK is actually leading the pack in terms of growth rate.
Oh, really? Faster than Germany or France?
Yep, a CGR of 9.44%. Germany and France are big contributors, of course, showing strong, consistent expansion. Germany reaching about $185 million, France over $109 million by 2033.
Okay.
And then you've got Italy, Russia, Spain, all adding solid chunks. Plus steady demand from places like Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, even smaller countries like Luxembourg chip in. It all adds up.
So why the UK specifically? What's pushing their growth rate ahead, even in a region that's already pretty focused on emissions?
That's a great question. Often it comes down to maybe more aggressive local policies or perhaps a faster timeline for updating fleets.
Ah, like city-level rules.
Precisely. Think clean air zones, low emission zones in major cities. The UK has been quite active with those. These local rules can sometimes force the adoption of DPAC-equipped vehicles even faster than just the national standards alone.
Right, that localized pressure makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it creates that extra momentum.
Okay, so that's North America and Europe. Now, Asia Pacific. You mentioned this is where the real boom is happening.
Oh, absolutely. This is the fastest growing region for DEF storage globally, hands down.
Wow, what are the numbers?
Get this, from about $251 million in 2021.
Okay.
It's projected to soar past $785 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of nearly 10%.
Almost 10%. That's huge. Who are the main drivers there?
Well, China is a massive factor. Their market is expected to nearly triple, mainly because of really aggressive government pushes on environmental regulations.
Trying to tackle the air quality issue.
Exactly. But then you look at India. Truly remarkable growth there, a CAGR of almost 12%.
12%? What's behind that?
It's fueled by this rapidly expanding and modernizing commercial vehicle fleet. Lots of new trucks hitting the road and needing to meet newer standards.
So it's modernization plus new volume.
Precisely. Then you've got Japan, South Korea, Australia, also strong, established markets. And don't forget Singapore, Taiwan, the rest of Southeast Asia. They all add up significantly too.
So China's driven by regulation, India by modernization and scale. Powerful forces.
Incredibly potent drivers in that region, yes.
Yeah.
China's push against pollution is just relentless, mandating cleaner tech. India, it's that combination of new rules hitting a rapidly growing vehicle market that maybe wasn't equipped for this before.
Yeah.
It creates, well, almost explosive growth for DF infrastructure.
Okay, moving on. What about South America?
South America is also showing a really strong upward curve, projected to nearly triple its market value between 2021 and 2033.
Another high-growth area then.
Definitely. Brazil is the biggest market there, no surprise.
Yeah.
Expected to grow significantly. But Argentina is also showing strong numbers. And Colombia.
Yes.
Colombia actually stands out with one of the fastest growth rates in the region, over 10% CAGR.
Wow, Colombia again. Similar to the UK, in Europe, outpacing the regional average. Why might that be? Brazil's the giant, but Colombia's growing faster.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. Brazil has the sheer volume, obviously. But Colombia's faster rate of growth might reflect maybe a more recent intense push on regulations, or perhaps big investments in infrastructure rolling out.
Or maybe just a younger fleet turning over more quickly.
Could be that too. Sometimes if an economy is booming, commercial vehicle sales surge, and if that happens when new regulations are in place, you see a very rapid ramp up in demand for things like DEF, even from a smaller starting point. Peru, Chile, the rest of South America also contributes significantly to that overall upward trend.
Okay, fascinating regional differences. So lastly, let's touch on the Middle East and Africa.
Right.
Both showing good growth too, right? The Middle East market for DF storage looks set to almost triple by 2033.
Yes, approaching $144 million.
Led by Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Turkey, and you also mentioned smaller but fast-growing markets like Egypt and Qatar.
Correct. They're adding to the momentum. And then in Africa, we're seeing steady expansion too, projected to grow quite a bit by 2033.
Key players there.
South Africa and Nigeria are the most notable contributors mentioned in the forecast.
Okay.
And, if we step back and connect this to the bigger picture, these regions, the Middle East and Africa, well, maybe smaller in total value right now,
Yeah.
they represent really significant future opportunities. As their infrastructure develops, as the demand for cleaner transport inevitably rises there too, they're poised for really substantial growth down the line.
So it's a truly global shift.
Absolutely. It shows this commitment to environmental responsibility is really spreading, reaching pretty much every corner of the globe.
So boiling it down, the core drivers are pretty clear then.
Yeah, fundamentally, it's two things working together. One, governments everywhere keep implementing and tightening these emissions reduction rules.
The regulations again.
Right. And two, heavy vehicle fleets increasingly rely on these SCR systems, and therefore DEF, to actually meet those rules. It's a consistent pattern, continent to continent.
And it's interesting, it's not just about demanding the fluid, is it? It's the whole support system growing around it. We're seeing serious investment in huge bulk storage tanks at distribution centers, flexible mobile units for refills out on the road.
Even temperature-controlled systems.
Yeah.
DF can be sensitive to heat and cold.
Right, so you need specialized storage. It just shows how complex the supply chain is getting. It's all about making sure it's available, it's compliant, no matter where the truck or bus is.
It's becoming standard operating procedure like catalytic converters did years ago.
Yeah, good analogy. So this really raises a key question, doesn't it? Especially for those high-growth emerging regions like Asia Pacific, South America.
How do they manage the scaling?
Exactly. How do you ramp up that quickly while making sure the DF quality is right, that the storage is compliant, that everything works smoothly?
It's a major challenge, definitely. But also, it's a huge opportunity, right? For innovation, for new businesses, new ways of doing things in logistics and distribution.
Yeah.
These economies, with their infrastructure expanding and more diesel vehicles hitting the roads, they are clearly the most lucrative spots for market growth right now.
Which brings us back to that bigger picture again. This whole evolution in DF storage. It's not just about emissions, is it?
No, it's much broader.
It's really supporting this fundamental global shift, a move towards cleaner, more sustainable ways of moving goods around the world.
It's a foundational piece of greener logistics.
Yeah. It's quietly helping reshape global commerce, making it a bit less impactful on the environment. So what does this all mean for you listening? Well, next time you see a delivery truck rumbling past or hop on a city bus, just remember, behind the scenes, there's this quiet revolution happening with things like DEF.
Part of an ecosystem.
Exactly. It means that avocado you bought or the package arriving at your door, it probably got there with a slightly lighter footprint on the air we all share.
And maybe think about this. These shifts in something as specific as DF storage, they really reflect this undeniable, broader global commitment to doing things more responsibly, environmentally speaking. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, what other maybe currently overlooked niche industries are going to emerge and become critical as we keep pushing and innovating towards an even more sustainable future. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack the hidden complexities behind things you might see every day, aspects of modern infrastructure. Today, we're plunging into something specific, the diesel exhaust fluid storage market, DEF storage. Sounds simple, maybe, but there's a surprising amount going on beneath the surface. Our mission really is to cut through the noise, get straight to what's driving this market, what's holding it back, and what's coming next. We're using our source, D-Storage Market Dynamics and Trends, to give you the key insights, a shortcut to being well-informed, maybe with a few surprises along the way. Ready? Okay, let's dive in. So let's kick things off with the key drivers, what's actually pushing this market forward. Understanding the whys, well, it's crucial. The big one, the primary driver, seems to be stringent emission regulations. These government rules aimed at cutting NOx emissions.
Nitrogen oxides, yeah, nasty stuff from diesel engines.
Exactly. So those rules are directly boosting demand for DF itself, and that naturally fuels growth in storage systems for cars, trucks, industrial uses.
And the so what of that is pretty significant. It really ties environmental policy directly to market demand. These regulations aren't just, red tape. They're building an industry. DE is essential for the SCR systems.
Selective Catalytic Reduction.
Right. That's how modern diesels clean up those NOx emissions, turn them into nitrogen and water. Harmless. But without good DEF storage, reliable infrastructure, well, the whole system falls apart. The environmental goals just wouldn't be met. It's a critical link.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It really shows how policy and vehicle mechanics are intertwined now. But it's not just rules, is it? The market's also growing because, well, there are just more diesel vehicles out there. That brings us to the next driver. The expanding commercial vehicle fleet and diesel infrastructure, just, the sheer increase globally. Heavy-duty trucks, buses, even farm equipment.
Tractors, combines, yeah.
And all these need reliable DEF storage everywhere. Fueling stations, warehouses, service centers.
Absolutely. And think about the logistics of that. Keeping DF available isn't just nice to have, it's operationally essential. Imagine a truck driver halfway across the country, or a farmer, middle of harvest. They run out of DF.
Problems, big problems.
Exactly. The engine might cut power or even refuse to start to stay compliant. That's not just an annoyance. It's lost time, lost money, huge disruption. So yeah, the logistics demand this growing storage network. It has to be reliable.
Okay, that really paints a picture. And building on that point, there's the growth in the transportation and logistics sector itself. As global trade and shipping expand, these big fleet operators, they're investing in their own on-site DF storage.
Yeah.
Why do that? Is it just convenience? Or is there a bigger economic reason?
Oh, it's definitely economic, deeply economic. Think about a large trucking firm. If a truck is down because it can't get DEF, that's potentially thousands of dollars lost per hour, maybe.
Wow.
Missed deliveries, unhappy clients, potential penalties. On-site storage just takes that risk off the table, ensures they have what they need when they need it. It keeps the trucks rolling, keeps the cash flowing. It's an investment in uptime.
Right, an investment in operational reliability. Okay, so we see what's pushing growth. Regulations, more trucks, the logistics boom.
Yeah.
But it's not all smooth sailing. Every growing market has hurdles. Let's shift gears to the key restraints, the challenges. And the first one, kind of fascinating, chemically speaking. It's the vulnerability of DF to temperature variations. High temperatures degrade it. Really cold temperatures, it freezes, it solidifies.
Yeah, and this is where those hidden costs start creeping in. It's a real aha moment for some people because it's not just about avoiding freezing or boiling. Even moderately high temps, say over 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius.
Which happens a lot in summer.
Right. That can start breaking down the urea pretty fast, weeks sometimes. So a hot spell could potentially ruin a whole batch of DEF if it's not stored correctly.
So you could lose thousands of gallons.
Potentially, yeah, especially for a large operation. So you absolutely need temperature control, insulation, maybe even active cooling or heating systems.
Yeah.
And that adds cost, significant operational expense.
It's not just a simple tank then, it's a managed environment. And speaking of complexity, another restraint, the challenges in installation and regulatory compliance. You can't just, plunk a DF tank down anywhere. There are rules. Safety standards, environmental regulations.
Well, definitely. It's a whole web of compliance. You've got environmental permits, maybe local zoning laws, specific safety protocols for handling the fluid. For big companies, it's manageable, part of doing business. But for smaller fleets, smaller service stations, it can be a pretty significant barrier. The upfront work, the costs, the ongoing checks, it's a lot.
Adds layers of complexity, not just cost.
Exactly.
Okay, and one more restraint ties into that fluid sensitivity we talked about.
Yeah.
The significant expenses related to quality control. DEF has to stay pure if it gets contaminated.
Big trouble. It can damage the SCR system in the vehicle. Those are delicate, expensive components.
So you need to guarantee purity. How do you do that?
Well, it means specialized tanks, first off, sealed systems, but often it also means investing in monitoring. Things like sensors that check the fluid level, the temperature, but also maybe the concentration or conductivity, looking for impurities in real time.
That sounds expensive.
It can be, yes. Advanced monitoring systems aren't cheap, and that cost factor means it might not make sense in places where they don't sell a lot of DEF. Low-volume sites. So adoption gets restricted because the cost of guaranteeing quality is just too high relative to the potential sales.
Right. The economics just don't work out everywhere. Okay. Drivers pushing, restraints pulling. Let's look forward now. What are the key trends? Where is this market heading? What's the innovation? First up, something you just touched on. The adoption of intelligent storage solutions with real-time monitoring. So moving towards these like digital tanks. With sensors, connectivity.
Precisely. It's about making fluid management smarter. Instead of someone having to go out and manually dip the tank.
Or just guessing based on usage patterns.
Right. Now, the tank itself can tell you level, temperature, maybe even quality alerts. It can notify the supplier automatically when it's time for a refill. This cuts down on manual labor, prevents running out unexpectedly, helps optimize delivery routes, and crucially, helps avoid spoilage by monitoring temperature. It's about efficiency and saving money in the long run, moving from reactive to proactive.
That makes a lot of sense. Smart tech moving into storage. Another interesting trend. The rising demand for mobile DEF storage solutions, like tanks on wheels, or smaller modular units.
Yeah, exactly. Think about situations where a big fixed tank just isn't practical. Large construction projects, maybe agriculture during harvest season way out in the fields, remote mining operations.
Places far from a regular fuel station.
Exactly. These mobile units offer flexibility. You can bring the DEF right to the equipment, saves time, keeps things running, especially in temporary or hard-to-reach locations. It brings the solution to the problem.
Very practical. And the last trend we'll cover connects back to those fuel stations. It's the incorporation with fueling infrastructure at retail outlets. We're seeing more and more diesel pumps right there next to the diesel pumps.
Yes, and that's a huge step in making DEF accessible. It transforms the fuel station into a one-stop shop, not just fuel, but emissions control too. This isn't just for the big long-haul trucks anymore. It makes it easier for smaller commercial vehicles, even some passenger diesel vehicles, to get DEF easily. It's about integrating the solution seamlessly into the existing infrastructure, making compliance easier for everyone.
Right, integrating it right into the driver's routine makes perfect sense. So we've really journeyed through this DF storage market, haven't we? What looks like a pretty straightforward product.
Just a tank of fluid.
Yeah, but it reveals this whole complex world. Strong drivers pushing it, real challenges holding it back, and some pretty cool trends shaping where it goes next.
And if you zoom out, it really highlights something important. These seemingly niche markets, like DEF storage, they're actually critical cogs in the machine. They connect global logistics, big environmental policies, even technological development like those smart sensors. They're the hidden gears making things work.
That's a great way to put it, the unseen gears. And maybe that leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. How many other parts of our daily infrastructure, things we barely notice, are driven by similar forces? Intricate rules, hidden costs, quiet technological shifts. What might those deep dives reveal if we look closer? Maybe keep an eye out for those unseen forces around you. Well, that's our time for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.